Okay. Let me see, make sure we're broadcasting and everything's going on. All right. I think we're broadcasting. Let me see if we can get the chat pulled up so that if anybody wants to chat and chime in on what's said, they can. All right. Everything's pulled up. So today, this is welcome, first of all, to our, let me see, this is August. So our August monthly mastermind meeting, we have had to postpone it. It was supposed to be this previous week, but it is actually this week, and we are doing it right now. So welcome. We're not in Maze like we usually are. You may notice this is an online one only this time. Got some sun going through the windows. It's not exactly the best place to record. This is my little area where I have my different green screens and things like that I use for making videos. So pardon for that. But we can still get this done. We'll probably go to about, let me see, 7:30, maybe 7:45. Unless people start chiming in, then we'll start getting some more questions, comments, observations. If you're on YouTube, you can do that right there, and it will let me know. I will see it pop up in the chat window, and we can answer it. We can remark on it, different things like that. So this time, the theme that I wanted to go with was something perhaps along the lines of timing. Timing is said to be everything. And in many ways, that's true, because sometimes we find in our life that things happen serendipitously. They happen just so, and they fall just right. This happens a lot on two extremes when we really notice it. We usually notice it happen when things are going really good or when things are going really bad. So hopefully in your life, you've been noticing it more when things are going really good. And it's really easy to do that when things just pop, 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 pop. It's important to keep the brain on those things, to keep it focused on those things that are happening good. A lot of the times we will say, oh, this is happening now, what's going to happen to mess it up? That'll pass through our mind. And that is not what needs to happen. What needs to happen is us focusing on what is going on good. Yes, things can happen in our life that are going to be, not so hot for where we're going, maybe not guide us directly towards our goals. But those things, when looked at in comparison, are not as nice and cool and interesting, or even as important to focus on as the successes. Because when you have a success, it means you're learning from your mistakes. You're learning that you're getting your timing better. And when we're going through our different trials, you might say, it is definitely important to remember that we're getting better as that's happening. Our timing can get better, and we can get better. So keeping it kind of focused in and not rabbit trailing too far off on the focus subject portion instead. Timing is something that is learned. It's not something that always just happens. Sometimes it's something that we subconsciously learn. We subconsciously learn good timing when we are sometimes in sports or games or different things like that. We'll learn that, oh, you got to time it just right to catch the ball, or to swing the sword in a game or something like that. And by doing those timings just right, you're able to be more effective in the game. And in the game of life, it's the same way. If we notice the way our life flows, because life does flow, a life that is being lived to its fullest, or at least being lived really at all, is going to flow a little bit. It's going to have a way that it goes. It'll have a rhythm. When you start to pick up on the rhythms of your life, you're able to get your timing down better. Sometimes it's just as simple as figuring out, well, I usually feel better this week than this week, or I usually feel great around pay time, if you're still in one of those kind of jobs that has a successive pay rate or things like that, or a pay period you go through. Sometimes you'll feel better at one portion of the pay period than you will at the other, and it has to do with your money. Sometimes it has nothing to do with your money. Sometimes you just feel better at this time of the month or at this time of the week than you do at this other time of the week. If you can notice that in your life, you can start to kind of schedule your appointments, schedule your time around that, and you build out on it, because you'll notice as your timing starts getting better, as you start to get to know yourself better, which is really what timing in a personal sense is like and is about, you'll notice that it gets a lot easier to expand that idea of, oh, this was really good. I did really good right here because it was timed right. I was able to pick up on what was being said. I was so much better focused on what I was doing because it was timed right. Timing has a lot to do with things. If we're able to kind of break that code of where our life ebbs and flows and what goes up and down in it, then we're definitely going to be at an advantage to having anything happen, having things work in our life appropriately. So when we get that going, when you've got that, and let's say that you've focused on your personal life, because let's deal with this just one person at a time real quick. On a personal level, you've looked at your life and you say, okay, I'm a bit better at this part of the week than this part of the week, or midweek is like hump day for me. Let's take it like that. So midweek is hump week. Okay, if you get the stuff done when you're focused and clear, maybe at the first part of the week, then if you get the hard stuff done, then you're able to build up on your momentum instead of coming down on it. And assuming that we're in a Monday to Friday job, let's say, and this person has the hump in the middle of the week, like a normal person that works every day, 9 to 5 job does. They're better at the first part of the week, we'll say. Well, they know that. So what they do is they put their harder stuff at the first part. And that may seem, what? I don't want to do my hard stuff on Monday and Tuesday. Oh. But it actually works better for you. Why? Because if you get the hard stuff done first, you're going to be able to say, oh, it actually gets easier through the week. And when you start to think about it, that hump day, after a few weeks of doing this little rotation of knowing yourself, knowing how your kind of emotional ride goes, your ebb and your flow goes during the week, you're able to go, oh, I got this stuff done already. If you start to look at it as, I already got this done, then your life goes, oh, that hump isn't so bad on Wednesday because I don't have to cram to get the things done I didn't want to do in Wednesday. Instead of, I just did them right up front on Monday or Tuesday. And ta-da! This hump that you have to go over, this emotional, it really is not a hump in the sense of you've got more work. It's that emotional hardness of going through Wednesday. And as you get, it gets less and less because you're accomplishing the stuff you really, really, really are pressed for on Monday or Tuesday, and then you come over and Wednesday's not so bad. And in fact, by Thursday, you're remembering that tomorrow is Friday, and Friday is, yes, weekend tomorrow. So from a 9 to 5 perspective, that's a way you can use your own emotional ebb and flow to get a better idea of where you're going and how well it's working for you. Secondly, let's expand this a little bit. And I would like to make a disclaimer. Not everybody's going to be at their best on Monday and Tuesday. Some people will be better if they watch themselves on Wednesday and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday, or Monday and Friday. So it just depends on the person. That's why I said it's going to be something that you're going to look at yourself. So getting back to what we're saying, it's important for us when we're looking at it that we take this onto a larger perspective, because okay, we've got our week down, but if we only live in a week span, we're just living week to week. We're not really enjoying life. We're just living 5 days to 5 days to 5 days, and you have your weekends in between. What you want to do is, if you start to understand yourself on a weekly basis, if you start to understand yourself and your timing and your rhythm on a weekly kind of ebb and flow, then you can start to expand and say, okay, well, I'm going to watch myself this month and see when I have my emotional highs and when I have my emotional lows. When do I feel better and when do I kind of feel, yeah. And yes, this may be slightly easier for the ladies because they have a physical representation of what's happening in their body, which does contribute to your mental status during the week and during the months. But men have emotional up and downs too during the month, and they don't usually notice because they just don't have a physical thing to show them. So ladies have a kind of a leg up on that, I guess. Not really a pleasant one, but that's not my decision, ladies. That was the maker's decision. Back on focus, though. Watching yourself through the month to see where your emotional highs and lows are, and starting your timing, starting to say, well, if I know I'm going to be better during this time, I'm going to do the stuff I really, really have to do then. And then during these other times, I'll be able to appreciate what I've got more done. I'll be able to calm myself and devote more to myself and my time and keeping my emotions high, so that the next month I'll be able to do it again. And gradually you'll notice, just like with the week, those months will become easier. And you'll take it, and by taking it bits and pieces at a time, by taking it those small little arches of up and down at a time, you're going to notice that it's going to be a lot easier to handle those ups and downs during the months. And eventually, as those are handled, as you take care of stuff you have to when you're feeling good, and then you come back and get the other, smaller, not so important, stuff you just kind of need to do in that time where you're not feeling on top. And then when those emotional lows, kind of hit in, you actually devote more time to yourself and getting yourself back up. You're able to, instead of have this huge roller coaster, your roller coaster instead goes up and kind of stays up on your emotions. So in that sense, it's going to be a lot better for you. Your months will become, just like your weeks become more effective when you know your ups and downs, your months become more effective during your ups and downs when you know them. And that allows you to really take ownership of what your life is and who you are in your life. You're able to say, okay, I know this about myself. I know this about myself. You'll be able to really have an effective month. And if we will stop and think about it, if we're having effective weeks and effective months, that leads to effective years. And then those years lead to an effective life. So this goes a lot towards the idea of you gradually improving your life and doing better on it, and doing it that way and getting better and better over time. And we don't have any comments yet, so I will continue, but it'd be a good time anytime you're ready. For those of you who don't know, you can be on the YouTube chat. I'll stop for just a second. If you want to, this is a live event on YouTube, and you can go to the chat portion of the YouTube and enter a question, comment, or observation. Okay, back on subject. If we were wanting to look at how some small things that we might pick up on with this timing thing, if we're wanting to have good timing and good ebb and flow management of our emotions and who we are and what we're doing and things like that, a good thing that we can do is, like I said, kind of build ourselves up and kind of emotionally support ourselves and plan for that when we know we're going to have kind of a lull or something along those lines. This can be done in several different ways. We know that when you're in your high, you're feeling good, you don't need a lot of, hey man, you can do it type thing, because we feel like we can. So in those times when you feel really good, what you can do is you can focus on getting things done, like we talked about, that you really need to get done. In those times where it's kind of in between, where you're just kind of on your even keel, you're not super feeling good, but you're feeling all right, you know that's your normal, then you can eventually get to the point where you got, okay, I'm doing the normal stuff here, that whatever normal is for you. I'm doing the things here that are easier and more effective for me, that are simpler for me to accomplish. They are regular tasks, however that works for you, whatever term you'd like to use. Next, and this is where a lot of people would actually need the support on what to do during these times. When you find yourself in that low period, a period where you're looking at it and you're saying, oh, I just don't want to go to work, or oh, I'm at work and I don't know what to do, or org, just org. Just the sound effect of erg explains your mood. Those are the times that you can stop. I mean, you do the things you have to do. You need to do the things you have to do. But you can use these times instead to be more have more attention on yourself. You can look on it and say, okay, I need to do some things to bring my mood up. And this is when you do them. You do them. Some people like watching a movie. You watch an extra movie. You make your schedule flexible enough where you can accommodate your ups and downs, and scheduling and making a schedule and following a schedule and things like that. That's a discussion for another time. That's its own type of Q&A, question and answer type thing. But for now, just looking at the timing and what you can do to help with your ebb and flow, then you can take it and you can, during those times, like I said, do things that are going to build your mood. Listening to your favorite music during those times helps build your mood up. Watching your favorite movies, even if you've watched them a million times, if you love them, go ahead and watch them one more time. Maybe it's watching a new movie, a movie you've never seen before. Maybe it's playing some board games with your family. Maybe it's just you getting out and going on a nature walk or going camping or something like that. Do a little camping trip, when you get off Friday. If your low starts on Friday, during the monthly style of looking at it, if your low starts on Friday, just kind of know that. And then what you do is you decide, okay, I'll go on a camping trip, and you take an extended little camping trip. You go out on Friday night, and instead of going to the bars and different things like that, where socialite, we'll get to that in a second. Let's not get distracted. So now you started your little thing on Friday. You're going to your camping trip, and you decide to take an extended camping trip. You go Friday night, you spend the night out there after setting up your tent, and you're out there and you're barbecuing on the little Barbie, and got the hot dogs and all that type of stuff going. Kids with you, kids not. It's dependent on people. And if you're taking your family with you, that would be a good thing to do. And you do that, and then by Friday day, you're feeling pretty good. Normally out in nature type setups will help you feel good. There's a proven benefit to hearing birds and crickets and frogs and natural sounds. They have been shown to be very beneficial to improving mood and outlook and all those different things. So it's important to get a little bit of that, even if in those low times, even if it's just a walk. A walk alone can improve your mood quite a bit. In fact, incorporating a daily walk is something that I recommend for all the people that I work with. So you have that. Those are some things that you can do to improve your mood, your outlook on just life in general, on different things. And these work really well for problem solving. Sometimes you need to throw some of these in if you're getting some extra stress at work, or if you're having some extra stress come into your life, or you're wanting to prevent stress in your life. Those daily walks so that your timing doesn't get thrown off. Having a small flexible schedule that you work with. Know what you're going to do. Know what you're planning to do during the day. It doesn't have to be like to every minute, but just know what you're going to do during the day. And so on and so forth. So this is kind of what you can do to help. So I hope this has helped everyone that's been watching. It is about 7:30 now-ish, and we don't have anyone in the comments yet. So I think a 20-30 minute rant of mine is going to be enough for everyone. Hopefully you have found this helpful. I encourage you guys to put some of these de-stressors, to learn your ebb and flow, to think about it, and really get to know yourself well. Knowing yourself well, knowing your timing, knowing how you, as a person, interact with the world around you is going to be a great boon to whatever is going on in your life, whatever is going on. So I appreciate everyone's attention. If you want to, you can like, comment, share, or subscribe this video, or do any of those things that you would like to do. And I am Adam L. Spain with the Eden Wellness Alliance. Health and wellness the way God intended. All natural, non-invasive approaches to your health, wealth, and relationships. I should have done that at the front of the video, but I forgot. See, timing. I have to look my own timing on these videos. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day. God bless and enjoy.